Sí, sí, igual.
We're back at you here at Gloves Off, and today we have a special guest, a Laredo boxer, Rudy La Cobrita Gomez. How are we doing today?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Well, let's touch base. I know you have a fight coming up.
Yes. The fight will be at the Elliott Arena. It'll be April 7th against Ricardo El Matador Mayorga. Entonces, we're going to have a tough, hard fight, and hopefully the people can attend.
No. I think Laredo's going to come and support you.
I really hope so.
And, in the last couple of years, I've seen more people supporting our boxers.
Yes,
okay?
and that's something that everybody has been noticing. A lot of supporters, the events have been almost getting to full capacity, so we're very excited about that.
Tell me, when was the last time you fought?
Last time I fought, it was in June. It was June 10th, so it's been a while. I fought
last year?
Fought for the state championship, which I won. So now, after that period of time, now I'm getting back on the training and getting fit for the fight.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your preparation. ¿Qué estás haciendo? Have you started? All that good stuff.
Yes. Actually, yes. We've started camp a while ago, and because I was supposed to fight February 9th, but then there's a fight with Mayorga came upon, and the team and I thought it was a better chance, and we didn't want to risk a cut or an injury during the February 9th fight, and we left it off. We just kept on training and getting ready for April 7th with Mayorga.
Tell me a little bit about your record. How were you? I know you fought amateur.
Well, amateur. I only did 11 fights amateur. Okay. The amateur, like we're speaking of live right now. I was very tall, very lengthy for 147, which that was my weight back when I was fighting amateur. So a lot of fighters didn't want to fight. I was always fighting when I had 2 fights. My first fight amateur, I fought with the same 0 fights. Then my second fight, I fought with a fighter from San Antonio. He was number 4 in the nation. He had I believe some close to 30 fights, and I only had 1 fight, right? So I went out there and I lost. They took it away from me. I felt that way because I really put it to the I brought it to the guy.
Was a fight in San Antonio?
Yeah, it was in San Antonio in his gym actually.
Yeah.
So and after that, I fought a couple of times, and in a period of 4 years, I fought 11 fights. So
you see, and that's what happens. In amateur, I trained a lot of amateur fighters.
Yes.
And we knew that if you went to San Antonio, Or you went to Corpus.
Corpus. Yeah,
You had to knock out the individual.
Yeah.
You had to make sure that they were really beaten up for everybody to know that you won.
Exactly.
Because if you did not do that, you lose.
Yeah,
And-
they're
and-
very
you know,
localist.
so,
Very
know,
localist.
So that's just the way it is.
But yeah, exactly. It's the way it is, and sometimes that's one of the things that I've had a concern with, because Laredo is not a localist a city. It's not. I've lost decisions here in Laredo.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why.
So that
We do not have the officials not the officials in amateur here.
yeah.
We tried bringing them back in here, and we filled the gap, but all of a sudden everything died. We need to get local boxers, ex-boxers,
Definitely.
coaches. You know what? We have to make officials,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
else you can have a good fight, and that's detrimental not only to a fighter but also
Yeah.
to a gym.
And sometimes and honestly, as a fighter, what we want is just equality.
Exactly right.
We don't want for them to favor us or favor them. We just want to be, let the best man win. You know,
you have to go out and prove it.
And sometimes the judges and the officials take that away from the fighters and from the people as well, because the people see something. You know, you cannot fool everybody. You know, so the people see a winner, and sometimes it's a bittersweet taste if you won and you felt that you didn't win. So, you know, it hasn't happened to me, but if it did happen, I would be honest to myself and admit it to the people at least. But a lot of fighters don't do that.
No,
I don't feel that a lot of fighters have that in them. You know, to say, you know what, they gave me the win, but I don't. Everybody usually says, I felt I won. This and that, but it
No,
happens.
you're absolutely correct. So tell me what else happened when you went in and then you went into pro.
Yeah,
What was your first
at
pro
19,
fight?
at 19 I turned pro. I fought at the Civic Center, and I won by knockout in the first round. It was funny because in amateur, I didn't feel that I had any power actually. I felt that I had a good jab, but I didn't have any like real good power. But like I said, I never really liked amateur. When I turned pro, it was like something very different. I started knocking out almost everybody. My first 5 fights were all by knockout, and then I went by decision. I won to a very tough guy that had fought world champions like Kendall Holt and Roberto Torres, something like that. And I won. And then I fought. That fight was for ESPN Friday Night Fights here at the LEA. And then I fought again for ESPN under Provodnikov card, and I won him by knockout. Juan Manuel Marquez was there in that fight with me in the corner. And then I fought again on ESPN, and I also won by knockout. So yeah, ESPN brings me good memories.
Are you gonna be fighting ESPN?
No, this time. Well, they're going to be transmitting it somewhere in pay-per-view, but I think it's going to be in the part of Nicaragua where Matador is from. And places alive. I don't know the info yet, but they'll be giving me some info.
You talked about Kendall Holt. He's an excellent boxer.
Oh yeah, he was real good. He
was an excellent boxer. He's a good guy, and we've talked to him, and there's some stuff that we've been trying to see if maybe we can bring him down.
Yeah, well, I think he could have done a lot better. I don't know if it was management, if it was I don't know. He had a lot of more potential than what he actually did.
He has a great gym with kids. Excuse me for interrupting, and he does a wonderful job with them, and that's what really counts. I think his son is going good.
That's the important part. To be involved with the community. I believe being involved with the community, it's a primary thing that everybody should be having in their aspect of living, because I mean, the community, it's what we're going to live. Our sons, our family, our descendants, that's where we can just, we don't have, we're not a city with a lot of money, with not a city with a lot of growth, but whatever we put into the community, that's where we're going to live to our sons and family.
So you're absolutely correct. So tell me, what else about this upcoming bout?
Well, my training camp, it's going on, and it's very hard right now. There haven't been a day that I felt completely 100%. I've been sore throughout the camp, and I know I'm gonna keep being sore because the trainings, the exercises we're doing with Ricardo are exceptional and are actually working every muscle of my body. And right now I'm sore from weird places, man. My places that I've never been sore from. My lower back, my wings, everything's hurting. So I'm very anxious to know how I'm gonna feel the week before the fight, where everything just is downhill. So I'm hoping everything's just gonna be I'm anxious already for the fight.
Okay. Well, we wish you the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We know that's gonna come. I know your father's right now at the State Golden Gloves.
Yes, he's the State
Tell us a
Golden
little bit
Glove.
about that.
He's at the State Golden Gloves with Hector Ferreiro Jr. He's a tough kid, man. He's 18 years old, barely turned 18, but he spars with me. And he hangs in there. And
He's a good kid.
Yeah,
I know his father.
So no,
And a great guy.
Definitely
Great guy.
come from a great family.
They're good guys.
Yeah, great family, very humble, very very down to earth. I love that kid, and right now he's a warrior. He's out there fighting, and my dad went with him, and now hopefully yesterday he won first fight of the ladder, and hopefully today we come with that W again. I'm just anxious to hear that call right now later on tonight.
Well, I hope so. I hope so, because he deserves it.
He does. If anybody deserves it, it's him, because he works hard. He's on weight 2-3 weeks before the fight, and you see him work hard, and man, that kid really has.
And you need dedication when you're boxing. You need dedication if you're a boxer, not if you're boxing.
Exactly.
Because you have a lot of people that go boxing, but a boxer needs dedication.
It's a tough sport, because it separates you from a lot of things that you really probably like doing, and also from special dates. Mm-hmm. From like Christmas, New Year's, birthday parties, everything. It separates you from a normal life. Actually, you can't have a normal life. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And I mean normal life, because normal life, it's attending to get-togethers and this and that, and eating out and stuff like that. And things that you can't do while you're in boxing. And then on top of that, you have to wake up at 5 a.m, 6 a.m, go run, come back, have a little shake and your little breakfast, and by noon be at the gym, killer workouts, and then by 5 be back at the gym, killer workouts. And every day it's just work, and almost no rest. And the little rest you can have, you don't want to spend it going out here, going out there. You want to sleep, you want to rest, you want to, that's what you want to do.
And that's what a lot of people do not understand. Boxing is a hard sport.
It is.
The sweet science, as they call it, is a beautiful discipline for those that become part of it, Yes. And you have a lot of guys that go to the gym, hit the bag, and run around and jump rope, but there's very, very few that
They commit. And you know what? That's one thing I really like about the gym my dad and my uncle are running right now, which is the sheriff's department. From the sheriff's department, the Pals Boxing Gym. Actually, one little kid that I want to mention, his name is Jose Alfredo Martinez. He's going to be fighting in April 7th.
Along with you?
Yeah, along with Jorge Castañeda's making his comeback after the February 9th loss. And Josh Juarez will be fighting for the state championship in April 7th, same card. And Jose Alfredo Martinez.
How about Mandy Fuentes? You be fighting or no?
I believe so. There, I haven't. She's in from another gym, but I haven't heard very well of the other cards. But there will be other names. Like I believe her. Probably I heard about Jesse Sanchez, and probably Yori Boy Campas fighting some guy, and Arturo Escalante. It's gonna be a big card, and it's gonna be very, very interesting. And so. Yeah, Jose Alfredo Martinez, he's a kid that he was growing in the streets. He was doing bad decisions, making bad decisions out there. And thanks to the gym, he used to take medicine for hyperactive, he was behavior and all that. he went to the gym. My uncle took him to the gym. He was like, "No, you don't come to the gym and see how you feel." And he fell in love with the gym. He is a gym rat. He loves training. He works hard, and he's a hell of a fighter. I mean, he really is. He reminds me a lot of Chocolatito Roman,
sure.
you know, and oh my God, I mean, I truly believe that he has potential, and not for. I mean, I don't want to say because I'm from the team, but I believe that we have the more solid team here in Laredo. Why? Because the simple fact that we don't just keep to what we know. My dad and my uncle are very, very open-minded when it comes to boxing. They like to learn from everybody. From everybody. They had their own school. But at some point they came to an agreement, and they said, you know what we're teaching is no longer enough. Like everybody, like it's revolutionary. You know, it's revolutionary. So we have to get on that train and start. So they started incorporating a lot of things. Now we're incorporating CrossFit. We're incorporating a lot of polymetrics. So we're incorporating a lot of stuff different, and it's working.
That's how you know you have growth.
Exactly.
Because you get people that there is already a formula and they're like this to it,
yes.
and they won't grow. But once you start understanding what others are doing and start grasping, that's when you're going to start seeing growth.
Exactly.
And that's beautiful to hear, you know, and that's the way it is, you know. And the more you learn, and you learn from everybody,
exactly,
the more you're going to do. Okay, you'll see other ideas. Maybe you might not like it, but maybe it clicks something in your brain that changes. And you know what? I can improve on
exactly.
that. And that's what.
Same words from my father.
And that's what happens. And that's what you have to do. Exactly. And a true pugilist will always look at everybody to pick and
the
take
best. The best of everything.
And you're going to do it. And, and you all come from a pugilist family. Yes. And, with a good name. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And
thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm going to ask you another question. To you, who's your favorite boxer?
To me, my favorite boxer is Juan Manuel Marquez. He is one of my favorite boxers of all times. Combination puncher. And he's a counter puncher. I love counter punching, and I love putting combinations together. And the way he does it, I don't think we've had some other fighter don't do it. Not only from Mexico, because I respect a lot Julio Cesar Chavez, greatest of all time, if you want to say it like that. But to me, Juan Manuel Marquez, to me, he's the best Mexico has given. Not only because of, like I said, he's done great things, but also as a person, he's the true definition of a dedicated boxer, of a dedicated person. I mean, he's never left his house to make camp. Imagine how hard that is, okay? I'm just saying because he lives with his wife, and he lives in a separate room. He wakes up at 4 in the morning to be running the mountain and coming back. And I'm saying, like, not leaving your house to make camp, it proves a lot from a fighter. Sometimes I have to leave out of my house to be doing camp somewhere else. Sometimes it's important to stay focused but I guess some fighters are natural to that, and he's one of those, and I respect that a lot, and the guts he has. If you drop him, if you cut him, I mean, that's not the end of the fight. That's the beginning of the fight.
No, that's just the way it is. And it's a fight.
Exactly. He turns it into a war, and I love that. And I think people respect that also, but I like I said, that he's my favorite boxer, but. There's so many that we can never forget. The golden era, like Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray, Roberto Duran, all that, man. You can't forget that, and you can never outpass or outlook that.
And you should always be looking at those films and looking at that, because there's stuff there that they did that you can build upon.
They would fight 15 rounds, so the trainings, they got to work. They got to work.
There's stuff in there that I was reading a book of Jack Dempsey. And how he used to have a bucket filled with horse urine and sand, and he used to punch it to make his hands callous.
Okay. All right.
And you're like, you don't do that now. You know what I'm saying? But back then you had
Yeah.
It was a different mentality, you
It
know.
was
Of what,
different methods,
did it
different
work?
methods.
I'm not having, you know, I'm not haven't tried
used
it or
to hit
anything,
very
but
hard.
you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. There must be something about it that he used to hit a bucket with that.
And I also believe that the way of eating back then, it was different. You know, back then everything was more
Much
fresh.
clean.
It was fresh. It was out from the crops and you know, from the farm right to your stove. You know, so it was different. It was different, and that had to do a lot with health, and with health it comes you know, good conditioning, good strength, good everything. So now that our eating is not very clean, we have to incorporate a lot of things like new exercises and to last longer, because
New
we still
diets.
at the most we fight 12 rounds and we still end up tired. So back then it was 15, and they were using a lot of smaller gloves, you know,
Made out of horsehair.
exactly. So it was different. It was different, but it was more it was savage. It was a savage sport still.
Absolutely. You know, one of the quotes that Jack Dempsey used to say, you know, because he said that he was asked, "What is the secret about fighting?" And he said, "Who gets there firstest with the mostest."
Exactly.
And then, you know,
Because back then that's how it
what
was. It was
you know?
right in front of each other. And boom! I hit you. You hit me. And
You know,
they
and you're
went
like,
down,
okay,
and the
don't get
ref
back
just.
up, pick him up. Y vámonos. otra
Yes,
vez.
the guy was behind the ref already waiting for you. It was pretty hard.
You know, but he had some truth behind that.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what
of
I'm
course.
saying?
Of course.
You know, so you know that always gets me. You know, who gets there first is with the mostest.
Exactly. I like that one. And you know what? I believe that's gonna be the difference in this fight with Mayorga. I believe that's what is gonna bring me on top, and it's gonna keep me on top throughout every round. I believe that there's not gonna be a round that I'm not gonna win. He's predicting a knockout, early knockout. He's gonna knock me out first round, second round. He's crazy. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen because I have my distance. I'm taller. I'm lengthier. I have 80-inch reach. I don't think he has not even a 75-inch reach. So
He's a seasoned boxer.
yeah.
He was at one time pretty good. You know, but
And
it's
that-
good for you because you have to do
Exactly.
that to grow.
Exactly, because that would have probably bothered a little bit if I had 3-4 professional fights. The reason why is because like I said, even in my amateur background, I always fought with guys with a lot more fights, 40 fights, 50 fights, when I only had 2 fights, 3 fights. So I know what it is to fight with experienced fighters. When I was an amateur, there was no amateurs to help me. I didn't have a team, so I would only spar with professionals. Every time, that's how I learned boxing, the hard way. There's a lot of fighters that you know, they've been beating everybody up since they were kids. No, I used to get beat up. I used to get beat up every day. But every day, guess what? I was there every day. So I know now he's a seasoned fighter, that he's a veteran. That doesn't have anything to do, because now I'm not a little kid no more.
You've been through the.
I already
been
paid
through the
my
trials
dues.
already. Yeah,
I already
exactly
paid my dues, and I believe that the key to this fight is gonna be my distance, my timing, and keep my cool, right? Not fall into his fight, because that's where most fighters that lost to him, that's where they made the mistake. They fall into his fight.
You know, I haven't heard his name for a very long time until your dad told me, and we're gonna that same day. Okay, you know.
He went, you know,
I haven't heard his name.
After
for
boxing, he went a while into MMA, and he fought him MMA, which he didn't do very good there. Usually because he got choked and stuff like that. You know, he's not a wrestler, right? So it's a different game. It's a different game, and you have to respect it. You have to respect it, and I guess he didn't. He just tried. You know, I hit hard. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna knock everybody out, and then he found out that he was wrong.
How many rounds is this? 12?
10.
10.
10 rounder, and hopefully after this I get Margarito, because that's who I want. You know, I want Margarito before he retires also. So another vet, now that we're on this, let's retire a couple of them, right? So yeah, that's what we have in mentality. For hopefully Margarito no later than June or July.
That's good. And the Margarito fight will be here, or what would it be?
Hopefully yes. Hopefully yes at the LEA. Awesome. We're now with this promotion, this new promotion Fito with the AAA promotion is doing a great job. He's doing a great job. He's going to continue to do fights. But now Lone Star Promotions, which Arturo Ortiz comes in there, David Rodriguez, and Ivailo Gotsev. Those guys are bringing the Lone Star Promotions here to Laredo, that's bringing this fight, and Ivailo Gotsev has promoted world champions, heavyweight champions as well, like Samuel Peters, who fought the Klitschko brothers. He was a world champion. And he brought Gennady Golovkin for the first time to the U.S. So now this guy is focusing. You know, he got Mayorga and another vet to come back, and he asked Arturo Ortiz, you know, hey, do you have anybody and a place for this fight of venue? And Arturo Ortiz being from here, from Laredo.
I grew up with Arturo. I know Art very well.
Well, Art being from here, from Laredo, he was like, I know the person that can fight him, and I know the exact venue for that. And he was, know what, Laredo.
That's great. That's great that it's coming back, because we need to.
Exactly.
We need to.
And hopefully, like you said, hopefully in the future, Laredo can be the mecca of boxing of the state. You know, that if there's gonna be good like Dallas with the Cowboy Stadium doing good fights out there. Oh, hopefully, eventually Laredo can be doing big fights like that as well.
We should be able to.
Exactly. We have a good venue. We have a good place. And
we have good
and the followers.
The good courage behind their fighters.
Exactly. Exactly. And a good fan base.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, we have 4 world champions.
Yeah.
We have Battling Shaw. We have the Gabby and Orlando Canizales. And then we have Ferrero también.
Ferrero.
And there's one that they say that there was a Jimmy Wong that it was from here, and there's like yes or no, yes or no.
Never heard of it.
But I know for a fact. You know, the other one has always been in the question. But so we have our champions.
Yeah, of course, and I believe that we have
very
good material,
and I think
for champion material.
We have a good crop of individuals that can go in there, you know. And like I tell a bunch of parents, I go, you want your son to learn discipline, take him to boxing. I don't care if they do baseball, take him to boxing.
Yeah.
Right there, you're going to learn respect. Yeah. You're going to learn respect real quick, or Sabat. You're going to learn respect right day one. Why? Because you're going to learn how to give respect, and you're going to get respect back.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is.
It is. It's a beautiful sport, and I encourage every kid out there to go and do a sport, whichever sport it is, or an instrument. Pick up an instrument. I never did. I wish I had when I was younger. It's never late though. I would like to learn the saxophone and stuff like that. But
I would. Yeah, be good.
But the thing is, I encourage every kid out there to learn something, because everything that you learn, it takes dedication and patience and you know, everything out there that any sport, soccer, baseball, football, boxing, whatever you want to do out there, and just invest your time, because that's what you would be doing, investing your time for the future. And there's nothing else better to do it than doing it in a sport or in something something that will provide happiness, because it does. Sometimes they say, how can boxing bring you happiness when you get hit? And it's tremendous happiness. It's a tremendous feeling. And every kid that finds what he wants to do is going to feel the same happiness, the same gratitude for what he's doing. Either I see a lot of potential here with kids in schools now. It was different than when I was in school. We had more gangster material, more crime, more criminal activity. Now I see kids in high school that look like they're in elementary or middle school, barely coming into middle school. Back then, I would see kids, in middle school with beards and tattoos and stuff like that. It was different. Now I see the kids coming out. Now I see, okay, now it's safe for my son now. Hopefully it stays this way,
No, you're right.
And I love it. I really love it, because I remember when I was a kid, I was scared sometimes to walk in the neighborhood. and I was scared because if I would go out, someone would pick on me, or I would have to get into a fight, or and I wouldn't want that for my child. And now I see the kids coming out. They look real, with their backpacks on. Back then, backpacks, kids, just a piece of pencil and a piece of paper, and now kids come with their backpacks, walking out. Everything looks better now, and I really like that.
I hope so. And we need to preserve, because our kids are our last sanctuary of innocence.
Exactly.
And once we lose that, we can't.
Yeah, that's where we would be losing hope. Yeah. So let's keep the hope up, and let's keep supporting everybody here from Laredo, because we tend to be, sometimes I heard this from a person in Corpus, that it's like a bucket with crabs. When you fill it with crabs, that everybody will be pulling just to get to the top, and we need to unite. If we would just unite, and everybody, whatever they're doing, if they're from Laredo, if they're doing something good, let's support them. We'll support them. We have some rappers, we have some kids that skate. There's talent almost in every single thing that there's.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct, and we have to help them out on that.
Exactly.
And I agree with you 100% on that. And let me last words to tell the guys.
Well, I just want to first of all, I want to thank you for having us.
No, thank you.
And I want to thank the people from Laredo. I want to encourage you to try something good for the environment, and also to come and attend to the fight, which will be on April 7th at the LA Arena. I'm going to be fighting against Ricardo El Matador Mayorga. We'll also be having fighters with the likes of Jorge Castañeda. We're going to be having Josh Juarez fighting for the state championship. We're going to have Alfredo El Tejanito Martinez, and among other Laredoans like Mandy Fuentes and other people from international fighters. So it's going to be a great card, and we invite you to come.
And folks, once more, let's support our boxers of Laredo. On April 7th, let's support Cobrita and every single other one that's going to be fighting out there. And let's do good, because we have a great boxing family. We have a great boxing culture. And Laredo needs once more to be placed on that map. It never disappeared, but it has to be placed back on that map again.
Exactly.
So, and here's something for everybody. Let's go exercise your right to vote, okay? Today and tomorrow, it's the early voting. And there's several different places. Look it up in the Webb County where there are early votes at. I know that the fire station down here, the library in the south, Billy Hall Center, and Doctors Hospital has right now an early vote. I guess they have a station there as well. So exercise your right to vote, and to everybody, we wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
And once more, let's go get them.
Yes, sir. Let's get them.
And let's